I'm going to save you so much time. I did 6 different configurations on suspension, from a stock with a 2-inch block to an add a leaf with a 2-inch block to a 6-inch leaf spring way too big, then a heavy-duty leaf spring with a 2-inch block to heavy-duty leaf spring with a 1-inch block to finally the heavy-duty leaf spring with no block. That is perfect. Now you can see how much of a difference it is from that stock suspension with an add a leaf to the old man Emu heavy-duty suspension system. Way more support. Now this is my completed truck. Now let's check out what it looked like when I started. And we're sitting at the fender right at 38 inches. So we'll see where that winds up being. Right now, the truck is sitting where it is slightly squatted. Now it's time to get after it. I got the truck jacked up. Time to get that rear tire off, get those brake lines loosened up, get those nuts off, get the nut off the rear shock so I can get that taken out. Now I'm getting the nuts off the bottom of the U-bolts. Do those in a crisscross pattern so you don't strip any of those threads out. And get that bolt taken out of the bottom of the rear shock and take that thing out of there. Be careful of the threads. Reuse all that hardware. Now it's time to start loosening all the nuts around the leaf spring so we can get that old leaf spring out of there. So when you drop stuff, make sure you don't lose your nuts and bolts. Once you have all your nuts and bolts loose, your rear leaf spring will come loose. It'll drop down a little bit, so make sure that you have it under control so you don't damage any of your brake lines, and then you can get it out of there. See how I have one floor jack is used to support the rear axle and the other is to support the frame of the truck. Now, this is a really nice upgrade going from that stock leaf spring with an add a leaf to the old man Emu heavy duty suspension. Very nice. Now let's put in that new heavy duty leaf spring. So you want to put some grease on the bushings there so everything is nice and lubricated. You'll put a bolt in the front first and then start to work on the back. That back can be a little bit tricky. Notice I have to configure my foot in the wheel well, pull down with one hand while I put the bolt through the hole with the other. This will take a little bit of finagling, but once you got it, start to get that nut on there and get everything all tightened down. Now starting to put things back together, starting to get the rear axle back in position. So you're going to raise that up with the floor jack and gently move the axle into position so all the holes line up. Now as I continue dropping things, I'm going to put that heavy duty bump stop on and get those U-bolts in place to start getting that all fastened down. Now my U-bolts had a little bit of an outward cant to them, so I had to get a rubber sided clamp and squeeze that U-bolt a little bit to be able to get everything to line up. I got it all lined up and starting to put those nuts in place. And cut off all the extra length on those U-bolts to clean everything up. All right, I got all the little bushings and stuff installed here, so now you're going to push the shock down, get it lined up with the hole up here, and now I can compress the suspension a little bit. Now you'll put a 5mm Allen wrench in the top that Bilstein that doesn't spin, and then you can crank down and compress. And the driver's side is done. All right, this side is all done, torqued down, no block, trimmed, torqued, ready to go. So now the test, put the tire on and see where we level out. And at the fender, right at 40 inches. All right, after getting the rear end adjusted to no block, on perfectly level in the back on the bubble, right there, sitting where I want to be sitting. So that's what's up. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.